gentlemen, here it is, the most listened to radio show on the planet. Even the other stations are tuned in too.
The views and opinions expressed in this podcast by the host or the guest do not necessarily reflect the views of Paranormal Buzz Radio or its sponsors. Use of any material produced by Paranormal Buzz Radio without express written consent is strictly prohibited. For information on everything Paranormal Buzz Radio has to offer, visit our website, paranormalbuzzradio.com. Like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter and Instagram. Listener discretion is advised.
Welcome to the Paranormal Bus Stop, where we talk about all things paranormal in a round table format, featuring Ashley Storm, Cynthia Gerolius, Shay Carroll, and myself, Darren Buff. Welcome to the show. Let's have some fun.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Paranormal Bus Stop here on Paranormal Buzz Radio. Today, we have a pretty interesting episode on moving spirits on. And today we have Ashley Storm and Cynthia Gerodius.
Hello.
Shay Carroll is absent for tonight's episode. She's in recovery, so give everybody a prayer for her to recovery with her back surgery, and we'll get her back on soon.
I have her comments.
What's that?
No, she don't really like prayers. No, I'm just kidding.
Wow. Let's get the vibe.
I hope she's listening.
No, she'll be here in spirit because I have her comments, so.
Yes, you do. Okay, so...
Oh, wait, so you're going to be speaking for you and her tonight?
Yes, I'm going to be me and Shay.
Oh,
yes.
Are you okay? Yeah. Are you okay, Darren?
Yeah, I'm fine. Why?
All right. Well, I mean, she's going to be her and Shay tonight. I'm just making sure you're ready for this.
Split personality. I'm used to split personalities all my life, so... We'll have a high voice and a low voice.
I don't know if I can do Shay's accent though.
Shay. She doesn't even call herself Shay. It's the funniest thing. And I'm like, have I been saying your name wrong all this time? She was like, no, I just say it different.
Oh, there's the snort. There's the first snort. So, how's everybody doing so far?
Yeah. There's the story. Oh, shit. There's the first story. My bad. I opened it on Spreaker and forgot to turn the sound down. I'm such a fucking noob sometimes, I swear.
Like I said, it happens to the best of us.
It's not always a bad thing.
Right. What's with the show without character, right?
Right, exactly.
That's right. Welcome everybody to the chat room, and so let's begin tonight's show. So when we talk to spirits in a special kind of way, does that help them move on?
Define special kind of way.
Is there a certain manner that we have to say, hey, you can move into the light right now, or can you gently move yourself to the light?
Well, that's a 50-sided bladed question. It wasn't just like a double bladed. That was like 50, because one, as Cynthia pointed out, in what type of way do you mean speaking to them? Two, so the light. Now, this is my biggest thing, okay? And I know that we're going to get to the rest of this at some point. And you only had 6 questions this time, which was weird. I'm nervous. But
I'm trying to go easy on you guys.
Actually,
we won't get through 6.
You didn't. Yeah, that's true. We never do. So you didn't bring this part up in the questions, but I want to address this first and foremost. What is the light? You say the light. everyone says the light. Everyone's like, oh, you can go towards the light, this, that, and third. I've also had a near-death experience. I've seen that light. But my thing is, you don't know what's beyond that. No matter what you say, there's no, unless you've been there and come back and you have irrefutable proof for all of us, you have no idea what is on that other side of that light. You don't know the spirit that you're working with well enough to know what all they've done in their life from beginning to end. You don't know if they'll end up on the bad side of the spectrum on the other side of the light or the good side. You have no idea. So what we do, and this way you talk to certain spirits in a certain way to help them, quote unquote, move on, is I do light sessions. And we've talked about this, the asylum. Rather than getting them to move on or being like, you don't need to be here, you can go somewhere else, I'm making a home for them where they feel comfortable, where we talk about their lives. We literally have like therapy sessions. What happened to you? Where's your trauma like? What made you this way? Things like that. And they actually shift. They go from being aggressive energies and spirits to being more light and playful and kind-hearted and actually kind of like caring to a certain extent. So can we help them by the way we speak to them? Yes. But should we be moving them on with that? You're more than welcome to be like, you're free, you can go and do as you please, give them that option. But don't ever be like, once you go past this light, once you go here, and once we move you on, you'll be at peace. Don't ever promise that, because you really don't know what the fuck you're doing, honestly. And it pisses me off when teams go into locations and like, we just cleared 60 spirits. And I'm like, but first of all, did they want to go? Did you even ask? Like, it drives me nuts.
There's the whip.
See, that's one of the major things, though, is number one, why are you clearing a spirit if they don't want to go?
Exactly.
Why are you
if they're not being disruptive or harmful? Yeah. Why are you taking that action? And even if they are being disruptive and harmful, 9 times out of 10, it's just a spirit who, if you gave them love and attention because they didn't get it in life, like, they really do change. It's insane that people don't grasp this concept more frequently. The more you interact and the more you put in effort, it's just like any relationship with a human being. The more you put effort into it, you can grow together.
Yep. Agreed.
Absolutely.
And is there a special way to talk to a spirit? And to answer that question, Darren, truthfully, it would be just like if you're paranormal investigating. Are you going to sit there and cuss and swear and tell them that they have to effing move on or what the hell ever?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, if you're on Ghost Adventures.
Absolutely. If you're doing that.
Well, and it's not even Ghost Adventures. There are a lot of teams that talk to spirits like that. That is that's their approach. That's their thing. So yeah, they do that. We're like, we're going to get you out of here because you're being aggressive to the owner. But it's like, Grandma was really just trying to get them a message and doesn't realize how to use her power yet. Like, she's fucking stupid. People are so stupid.
Yeah, it's a slippery slope. The whole crossing over thing is a slippery slope to me, because number one, what gives you the right to play landlord, to a spirit? I mean, if that was their home first, what gives you the right to throw them out of where they're comfortable or where they're happy or what used to be theirs? I mean, it's, to me, if you're doing an investigation and you're getting signs from the spirit that, hey, they don't want to be there, then yes, most definitely. Do something to help them out. But by the same token, if they're not being aggressive, if they're not hurting anybody, if they're not,
I'll be right back. Keep on talking.
If they're not being a nuisance, then why move them on?
Exactly.
It doesn't make that the whole thing is a slippery slope.
I think it bothers me the most because they're not doing it for the benefit of the actual souls and spirits that they're encountering. They're doing it for the views. You don't
Right.
ever see somebody who's like clearing spirits or genuinely helping them move on to the other side go live
Right.
on TikTok while they do it, or go live on YouTube while they're doing. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Right.
people go to, like, I know a group that went to Goatman's Bridge and was like, we just cleared 80 entities out of here, and I'm like, yeah, sure, yeah, but whatever. Like,
80 entities out of
yeah,
goat.
okay, but like, what if?
I
But my thing also was like a lot of this, the energy that's there is native. So I'm like, so what you're telling me is once again a white man kicked out the natives from their homes. Gotcha.
yeah, it's the whole thing. The whole thing is a slippery slope, you know.
Yeah, yeah, and I can understand that. I completely do. I mean, I guess it's more of maybe just rephrasing it when you actually, do the process.
Right.
Use different terminology.
That too.
So, if you like that question number 1, you're gonna really hate question number 2.
Oh Lord.
So, by using witchcraft spells, would that be another way of moving spirits on?
Who's taking this one?
Bueller.
Well,
I'm gonna direct this towards Cynthia to start on this one.
so yes, there are quote unquote spells that you can do to remove negative energies. Yes, there are spells that you can do to I don't want to say cross the spirit over, because you really can't cross the spirit over with a spell, because anything that you do to quote unquote cross the spirit over is a ritual in its own sense. But I mean, you don't have to be spiritual. You don't have to be a witch. You don't have to, you don't have to have anything special to do it.
Okay.
To me, I'm sorry, but to me, if a spirit is asking for help, and if a spirit wants to leave the place that it's at, light a candle and say a quick prayer for it if you're Christian. If you're Buddhist, meditate on it. Everything is a ritual.
Right.
And if you think about it, prayers are spells.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a wording ritual that you use to have an end goal to make something happen, manifest some type of energy. Prayers are spells, basically.
Yes.
I mean, for me, this is something that I will never really venture into when I do go to a location, because this is not my thing. This is not my element to do that to a spirit.
Right.
So this is something I would absolutely leave completely alone, because I'll just fuck up the situation more.
Well, and okay, so I am going to put Shay's 2 cents in here.
Bring it on.
What she left me is, she says, before I begin, please remember that these are just my thoughts and opinions. It does not mean I'm right. Here's a short statement on a very long conversation, and I'm not talking about quote-unquote demons or dangerous entities. She says, I'm not entirely sure we can actually force an entity to move on or cross over. I really don't know. Maybe some people have the ability to help those entities, quote unquote, cross over if they want to. I think a better term for me would be that they are guided. She said, but here's my issue and question to you. What about your average everyday ghost? Do we have the right to forcefully remove them from their homes? She says, I don't believe so.
I think at all costs, I think you should learn to get along with the spirit in your home before you even think about, say, hey, this is, unless it's doing some really big damage to people, either property or anything else like that comes in contact with it. At that point, well, then you decide what you're going to do with it.
And truthfully, this is going to sound really kind of condescending, and I'm not trying to sound condescending, so I hope that no other teams take this wrong. But truthfully, if you're a paranormal team that's worth your salt, as my dogs try and kill each other, if you're a paranormal team that's worth your salt, you're going to try, the first thing you're going to do is try for the people that are in the house to explain to them or to teach them how to coexist. You know?
Right.
I mean, unless it's something absolutely malicious and nasty and being mean to everybody around and hurting people and everything, you know, and everything like that, the first thing you're going to want to do with the spirit, if it's not being that malicious, is to try and see if they can coexist with it.
Yeah, I mean, that's basically exactly the same thing as what I said, but in different kind of format. More terminology in it.
Yeah. And I mean, like I said, that's my opinion. That's coming from me. That's where my belief system is, because, you know, I don't believe that if you're asked to go to a location or a residence or whatever and find out what the spirit is, what it wants, why it's there, and everything like that, why would you go there expressly for the purpose of, quote unquote, crossing the spirit over, you know, or moving it on?
Like I said, for the YouTube views and the likes, nobody is doing this because they actually want to fucking help anybody. They're doing it because they think it makes them look cooler because they can brag about it on Facebook. Same way people who help homeless people and drop off food and stuff. If you have to take a picture of you doing good shit, your good shit is not good shit. Your good deeds are inherently already sullied by your intention.
Your motive.
It's all about intention. Exactly. You're not going in there actually trying to help anyone. You're doing it so you can be like, oh, well, my team's done 50 houses and we've cleared 50 houses. But have you really, though? Or, you know, I just, you know, I'm not going to get in the mood enough to just not just say fucking shit ass cunts. Just so this one really makes me mad. Like, y'all know that it doesn't take a lot to get me like hyped up about something, but like aggressive about it. Yes, cool. Like it really drives me nuts because no one's taking the time to actually get to know them. And like I said earlier, you're clearing things that you may perceive as malicious or aggressive, but really it could be a family member that's just so frustrated because they've been trying to reach out to you for 4 or 5 years and their energy is just kind of all over the place. We don't know how the afterlife truly works. We don't know what happens when our energy sits there suspended for so long in between those planes where we're hovering. And energy is erratic. Like at any point, your energy can go from being what they would be like a baseline reading to just all over the place and insane. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
There's so many different layers of all of this, and everyone just looks at the top one. It's like, well, let's get us views, and that's it.
Well, I mean, so to kind of add to some of that we've already been talking to, I was also sent a comment from another person that Shay had spoken with, and to paraphrase, and I'm not going to do the whole thing. This lady says that she's had experiences helping spirits move on, or at least try to. Sometimes they don't want to leave our dimension because they're attached to us or they're afraid to move on. Either way, she tries to explain to the spirits that the other side may be a better place for them and they can be with loved ones again, if that's what they believe.
But therein lies the inherent problem, though. If that's what you believe, regardless of what you believe, you do not know what is on that other side. It's not just like it's going to be a thought form end game for what we feel like it's our perception, or maybe it is. We don't know. But you cannot sit there and be like, you will be at peace with your family if that's what you believe.
Right.
Because even if that's what you believe, you could go over to the other side and then not be with them. You know what I'm saying? And then your energy's stuck there. Like, why did this person lie to me? Like, I always think of it as them sitting on the other side and like, this fucker told me
right
that I'd be okay. And look, I'm getting like steak shoved up my ass right now. But you know what I'm saying? Like, It's just
Well, when the spirit's torn, It doesn't know where it's going to go anyway.
That's exactly my point, though, is that the reason why most of them, the ones that are stuck here in this dimension still, the ones that have not filtered their energy through and come back, or the ones that are still stuck, that are not over on that other dimension right now, have sat there and just, they're so scared. I know a lot of teams, including myself, that when we ask if is there something you're afraid of, we constantly get EVPs that say the light. I think it is something that every single one of us sees, because not only myself, but I know of a bunch of people who've had near-death experiences, and they all say this same exact thing, that light. I think that that's kind of like the energy chamber that we're supposed to go through to filter out our energy, to like replenish it, or like become a higher being almost, if that makes sense.
Right.
Like our energy kind of like levels up as we go through these different planes of filtration. But these energies are stuck here because we grew up with a lot of, especially in the South, that Catholic brimstone and fire, you're going to go to hell if you do this, that, and the third. And it could even just be like you had sex out of marriage, you were like moved in with someone, but someone could die real young and be like, well, I did this thing, or the third, or even die older, but still have their beliefs that they're going to go to hell. So that plays into that lady who said that she passes over spirits, and it's like, you'll be reunited with your family if that's what you believe. But what do we do about the ones that are stuck here, when most of the time it's that their fear of the other side is what makes them not want to go? Right. So you're going to try and bribe them or trick them and be like, well, there's like a casino on the other side with endless chips. You know what I'm saying? Like, or cater it to each and every person.
That could be.
You can't. But you can't.
Yeah.
No.
You absolutely cannot.
I mean, that'd be nice if it was tailored and go somewhere you absolutely really want to be, and instead of knowing where you're probably going to go if you're not a lost spirit or soul.
You know, which I think everybody pretty much knows my situation. You know, if he was still around, you know, hanging around the house or whatever, and somebody tried to sit there and cross him over or whatever, you know, I would be sitting there going, okay, where are you sending him? You know?
Are you sure you wouldn't stab them?
Well, number one, yeah, I would be a little pissed, because I'm trying to get him to, I've been trying to get Roland to do something forever now. And I mean, like, something tangible. Not just the little songs here and there. You know, I've had signs here and there, but I'm talking something just absolutely freaking tangible. And I still haven't got it. And if somebody was to come in here and say, well, I'm going to cross him over. Oh, no, you ain't, bitch. No, not until I'm done. And I ain't done yet. But no, I mean, you know, a lot of this stems with also the people that are around the spirits, because there are a lot of people that I've spoken with residential cases that the spirits may be family members that are not able to go or move on because they're being held there by their family member. You know, I can't live without you, so I'm going to keep you here by just absolutely being miserable and saying, I want you here. You can't leave. You can't leave me. You know, you have to stay here and help me. And this poor spirit is sitting there going, but why? You're fine. You know, you're okay. So that's why I tell a lot of my residential cases as well, you know, if it's a relative or something and you're afraid that they're stuck, I said, one of the things that you can do if you are talking to them is say, you know what? I want you here, but I don't need you here. I wish you were here, but I don't want you to be stuck here. Right. You know?
Right.
Yeah. Like,
intention is a lot of it.
Yes. And also, this plays into when I said we need to be more thorough. Sometimes it's just getting a message to someone that's holding them here. It's just one little message, like one little thing, or just want to like say hi to someone one last time. It's really just things that are as simple as that. You don't need a medium or a psychic to be able to communicate with them that way. You know what I'm saying? It's as simple as sitting down and being as attentive as a listener as you would be with a family member or a friend, listening to their problems and recording and trying to get some type of response. Because if they really want to get something through,
they'll do it.
Bad enough, yes, they will. You just need to give them the time and the opportunity to do so instead of being like, well, no, we just got to get them out of here. Like, for instance, one of the channeling sessions, like, this was the craziest thing, and it was the first time that I've ever been able to give a person the message, like, in real time. You know what I'm saying? Like, I usually do a lot of historic locations where it's people who most of their family members are probably, like, a billion states away now, where all the family members are dead and stuff like that. There was this lady who was hanging around who her mother actually had owned the museum before she had passed. And the gentleman who takes care of it now was her best friend growing up. And he took it over. And I was like, she really likes the flowers that you planted out in the front for her. And like things that nobody would know. You know what I'm saying? Like conversations they had 20, 30 years ago, things that no one would know. And he just sat there like sobbing. And he's like 6'5", a very big dude. And he was just sobbing, crying. And she finally just left. And I had seen her there for like 10 years. Like ever since I was little, I had seen her there at that museum. But I finally got her that message because she just wanted him to know that he was doing such a great job and she was so proud of him. And she wanted to thank him for keeping it running and keeping it beautiful. And that was it. And I didn't see her the next 3 days we filmed. She did not come back at all. And he said that he's never felt her presence again since that time. So it's not about like intentionally moving them. It's just about giving them peace. Like we shouldn't have to force it or make it a necessity when we encounter energies inside of homes or locations.
Right.
A necessity.
Good, valid points. This has turned out to be deep, a lot deeper than I thought it would get. But
honey, we can spiral deeper down the rabbit hole if you really want.
We are. This next question here.
Oh, are we?
See who's fired. I
love that Matt's muted. I just got to shout him out real quick. You are hilarious because he's like just seeing him crack up and being like, oh my God, he's shaking his head. You're welcome, Matt.
We love you, Matt.
So
we got a shout out.
There we go. You heard it right here. So question number 3. So by using a Ouija board and we open up these portals and stuff, is that another outlet where we can let spirits go and let them move on? Or is that just creating another problem and having the location have more spirits come in versus going out?
Okay. Well,
Ashley, if you want to answer this one.
Oh, I am, because this is where we differ, Home Slice. Love you to death, but we differ on this. You said that they can open portals and stuff. I believe a Ouija board is just the same as a spirit box, as any type of communication device. It's all about the intent. You're still opening a channel of communication between you and the energies and spirits inside of a location. It is no different with the Ouija board. Now, I think more than anything, the Ouija board, because of the superstitions and the way it was played up in the media and movies and that type of connotation that goes with it, that's the mindset and intent that people take in when they go to use them. They think they're going to communicate with something evil or a demon or something. You know what I'm saying? They're not using it for simple communication. It's the intent and the way that you use something. I think a spirit box can be just as dangerous if you're opening yourself up to the wrong type of things, regardless of whether or not it's a Ouija board, spirit boxes, even EVPs. Anytime we openly communicate or ask for a response or interact with those energies, it's just as dangerous. It's the same exact thing. You're opening a channel of communication. So I don't think it actually adds or gets rid of anything, but you can use it to not necessarily get rid of a spirit, but to help that communication process and get that closure. just like you would Spirit Box, EVP, all those other things.
Cynthia, what do you have to say?
Okay, so I agree with 90% of that. This is where Ashley and I differ a little bit. Because of things that I have seen happen with Ouija boards. I think that it's dangerous to use a Ouija board for something like that because you don't know exactly what you're communicating with. It's part of the problem.
Can I ask you a question? Because I'm genuinely curious. How would you know what you're communicating with an EVP or a spirit box? How does that differentiate?
And no, it doesn't. And that's where I agree with you on 90% of it, because it doesn't matter what you use. You could use a pendulum, you can use a Ouija board, you can use a spirit box, you can use my cat that's like screaming at me right now. I mean, you can use anything to communicate, and it does. It's. I don't think that it's a good tool to use because, and I don't think that any of it is a really quote unquote good tool to use when you're trying to help a spirit move on, because you don't know who you're talking to. You don't know exactly what's coming through or who's coming through.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
I mean, it's really hard to get that clarification.
And it is. Mama Deb has it right in chat. She says it's about intent. And it is. It's all about intent. It's how you're using it, what you want to use it for, and what you're trying to accomplish.
Mm-hmm.
You know? I mean, I'm not saying that cat. I'm not saying that you can't do it. It's not something that I would recommend myself, because I've had issues in the past where, you know, using a spirit box or using a Ouija board, I have come into, and I'm sure Ashley has too, you know, spirits that say they're one thing and aren't.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, absolutely.
And, you know, that's something that, do you want to run that risk?
See, there again, Ouija boards. I mean, I have not dealt with one since I was 7. And it's probably something I probably won't get into unless I'm really comfortable with the person enough to get involved to do it again.
Right.
Because I don't trust it just as much as how far I can throw a fucking doll, but but that's just me. No. I mean, I'm just not. I just don't.
What has a doll ever done to you?
I hate fucking dolls.
Me too. We've already had this conversation. Y'all are all like, well, nothing's wrong with dolls, blah, 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 blah. Fuck dolls. Fuck they mamas. Fuck they whole clan. Fuck Ken. No, fuck them all.
I know.
But I mean, that's where I lie. It's just something I just don't care to mess with unless I really know and I'm comfortable with the person. And
it's a personal preference too, you know?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, some people are comfortable enough with that. I myself am not, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So it's all in the intent, and it's all in the personal preference.
I mean, I have one, but it's mainly for looks, and that's what it's all going to be for. Unless I'm not. Lots of locations won't even let you bring one anyway. So
no,
and they're very strict about
rules.
That.
Yeah, that's in my rules, along with the no provocation, no Ouija boards, and I've had teams sneak them in. And it's funny because my building tells on you, like when they're talking to them, all types of rude, and when the team pulled out the Ouija board the one time, it was hilarious. I was out sitting by the campfire, and my spidey senses started tingling, and the spirit I call Nick comes up right behind me, and he goes, Ouija board, and I was like, are you fucking serious? So I go in there like real quiet and find the room that they're in. And sure enough, they have a Ouija board out and they're doing a session. I'm like, all right, you guys can pack up and leave. I'm like, what? Are you serious? I'm like, I literally told you to your faces, read out the list of my rules. You signed them. It is a legally binding waiver and liability waiver as well. Like, it's a term of agreements and liability waiver. You were clearly using a Ouija board. Please leave. And they tried to like be all rude and be like, we're gonna tell everybody about it. Go ahead and tell people. I don't give two shits, because if the people that you're hanging out with are like you, I don't want them here anyway. Like, if you're gonna sneak and do stuff that I've asked you not to do, then don't come.
Rules are in place for everything and for a reason.
Well,
and for your safety.
Yeah.
I have a regular Ouija board. I have a witch board, a spirit board, a witch board. I have a mini one that I just got, which is cuter than shit, but I will never use it. But why play with fire? Truthfully, why play with fire? And like Ashley was just saying, why get yourself kicked out?
You pay all that money just to be there in the first place.
Because they
don't
care.
You screw yourself up.
I can genuinely tell you, from being a location owner, just in the past 2 years, I've realized that most teams, one, are not at all what they portray themselves to be on social media. Okay. Mm-hmm. It's actually kind of insane how sneaky and like backhanded and conniving people. It's really, really disheartening. Honestly, I've thought multiple times about just selling it and being done, because I'm getting so just grossed out towards this field because of the people that I'm experiencing by booking and stuff. They lie. They try and make money off of the locations by selling off like spots to their booking when they've been told explicitly not to do it. And I've had that problem with multiple teams, not just one, multiple teams doing that, making like $500 to $600 off of their booking. Like, my price is already so low because I understand being an investigator and how hard it is. The shortest amount of time you get is 12 hours.
Yeah.
For $200. You can't even get 6 hours for $200 in most locations. Like,
no, you can't.
I'm very reasonable too with like working on payments and stuff. Like, I'll even sit there and be like, you can just pay me day before if it's been like months out and you just need time to like just communicate with me. I'm very understanding about that stuff, but I can't tell you how many times I've been fucked over because people just want money and to be seen. And it's not about going in with any type of like genuine intent for learning about the building, learning about the spirits, learning about the energies anymore. It's all about what can I catch on camera.
Yeah.
There is no interaction anymore, really, between at least what you see mainstream wise. There's no real interaction. There's just let me get a reaction.
Or like what you said, or there's teams that will come in with the express purpose of quote unquote crossing all the spirits that you have in there over.
Yeah, just to screw your building over
without permission.
See, when I go to a location, it's location first, and if the spirits show up, that's extra.
Yep, and that's how it always should be.
You're learning about that whole place and why you're there, why these people are there.
Yep.
I mean, that's what it's all about.
Agreed.
I mean, these locations are fantastic that we go to and you have the privilege to go into. But when you start doing that crap, that screws it up for everybody. And then just like Ashley said, she's ready just to sell it and be done with it because she's done with dealing with the stress. And I can definitely tell how much of a stress it can be.
Seriously, it should be just as easy as we book you. You come in, you respect the place, and myself as an owner, and you leave. And more than anything, you respect the spirits because that's their home, that's their location, not yours, not mine. That's theirs.
Right.
And when you can't do that, I mean, because it's honestly been more often than not lately that I'm running into that, or people are like, there are demons here, and and I'm like, I told you explicitly that there are two spirits in here that are very, very like in your face aggressive, especially when they don't like you, but they're human. They're not demonic. Like, they were just aggressive people in life. I explained it to them and they still, it feels demonic. And I'm like, Bye. Goodbye.
Okay, well,
Because
you can't give up and leave until I get down there, damn it.
I don't
these
know.
people stop being so fucking rude. Because it's very, and it's also very trying because I have a child now. I can't just catch a case. Like, old me would have just beat somebody's ass and been like, get to the curb. I'm done with your shit. But like, mom me has to be like, okay, you've broken the guidelines and policies. I would like to ask your team to exit the premises now. Woosah. And then beat the shit out of something else when they leave. But like, it's just, it shouldn't be that hard, especially dealing with grown-ups. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's like dealing with a bunch of fucking kids that don't know how to follow the rules.
Right.
And I only have 3 rules. No provocation, leave everything as you found it, and no drugs, alcohol, or firearms on the premises. People break the alcohol, the leaving shit, they'll move stuff to do like experiments or whatever. And every single time I go in there, there's shit in different places. And it's the next day, so I know it's not the ghost. But when the ghosts do it, I can tell because it's like different. This is just like trash, or you know what I'm saying? They leave all their shit out, move everything around in that front office room, and it's just like.
I was afraid you were saying that they actually shit. Like, that's just nasty.
No, it's not actual shit.
God,
I mean, I don't think so.
I
not
hope,
that I found.
I hope not. I hope not.
Not that I found.
So let's move on to question number 4. And
Not
this
that
one,
everybody's gotten riled up.
oh yeah. Well, I mean, it's just, we kind of walked into this one today like that anyway. I did a pretty good job on that one. Sorry. So if your house, if you like burn your house down or demolish your house, with that spirit being in that location, does that spirit automatically just move on freely to the next house, or they just move on somewhere, just be gone?
No, because most of the time,
house down.
Yeah, most of the time. Wait, did she said why would you burn your house down?
Why would you burn your house down?
I'm just saying because I've come across this a lot. I think I sent something to you about on Instagram. It's this house burnt down, or some burnt the house down because they're having problems with spirits. But if I'm just saying, not that I would, but I'm saying if it so happens to burn down, or they just can't take it and they destroy the house because they can't live in there anyways because the spirit's bothering the crap out of them.
Well, first of all,
does it automatically move on?
No, if one, most of the time, anything that's in the houses is actually attached to the land, not the house. So you getting rid of the structure does absolutely nothing. I'd say probably about like 70 to 80% of actual hauntings and homes is due to what happened and occurred on the land itself or in a previous home on the land, but not the actual dwelling that's standing.
Yep.
You can do whatever you want, and you can you can like block your house out from being part of its like space, but it can still be on your property, or you know what I'm saying? Like, you can set boundaries with them.
Yeah.
But it's still their space. Like,
so
it doesn't matter if there's a house there or not. They're still going to be there. Somebody could rebuild a new house, and it's not going to make it unhaunted. You're still going to have that spirit there.
So he should not be named tore down the demon house, so to speak, and thinks that everything has been written because he has demolished that house is completely wrong.
Yeah. Yeah, but I mean, he's always wrong. So I mean, what?
Well, I don't like to use names, so.
The spiky haired dude. Just call him the spiky haired dude.
The spiky haired dude.
Why are you afraid to name drop? Everybody's so afraid to name drop. Zach fucking begins. Come at me.
Well, it's
fool.
just because I don't want to get sued.
Bring it. I really don't fucking care. I am technically not officially a part of Paranormal Buzz Radio. I just do this show with them. I just said that way, they don't sue y'all. Come at me, Zach. I don't fucking care.
I learned from Roland not to name drop. he sent me all the legality stuff. If we do this, this might happen. If we do this might happen. So on.
I don't care. Somebody needs to call him out. He does not need to be in the, like, you know what I'm saying? He runs a location full of haunted objects. He doesn't cleanse people going in and out of it. He's just so reckless. It is absolutely reckless. He teaches people to go into locations and scream at them and like have some type of bravado with them to get what you want, to get some type of experience. It is dangerous to have him in this field, and not just be in this field, but be the foremost person in this field. Something needs to change. Because now YouTube and TikTok and all these other social media sites are flooded with people who act exactly like him, who go into locations to provoke. And then when they either don't get anything, they fake shit, have their little buddies in the back throwing stuff around and making loud bangs and growls and playing all these other noises and stuff off of speakers. Like, it's tainting it so much. Somebody needs to, like, just say no more. Like, we're not going to deal with this. This is not the way that you do this safely. Because it's not even about doing it properly. Everyone has a different way of doing it. It's about doing it safely, and he is not safe. It is not safe to have him be the one that everybody looks to in this field and is like, oh my gosh, it's Zach Bagans. Who fucking cares? Who fucking cares?
I mean, he's got to have everything going to that museum that he collects and stuff. I mean, heaven forbid something go wrong with that building. And
he wouldn't know what to do with it. He would just demolish it, and then it's gone.
Yeah. I mean, that's you only can take things so far. I mean,
he really just, oh my God, he makes me so fucking mad.
Cynthia, what do you got to chime in on this one?
I'm gonna wait until Ashley woo-saws herself.
I'm muting myself so I can woo-saw silently because I'm gonna growl a few more times. You continue.
She's gonna have a heart attack on her show, people. So calm the fuck down.
No, and you know, she has valid points. She has a lot of valid. But yeah, no, you can't just burn something down. You can't just demolish something. You can't just throw it in a glass case and pretend that it's, you know,
not haunted anymore. Yeah.
Well, no, not that it's not haunted anymore, but pretend
that you take it out.
Yeah, that it's protected or that it's contained. You know, there's steps to doing things, and there's ways of doing things, and that's not the right way of doing things. And you know, it is very sad that people are getting taught this by just watching. And it's not just Zach Baggins. There's several different YouTube channels out there. There's several different people out there that will tell you how to do it one way and then not deal with the consequences after you do it their way.
Right.
Absolutely. You know? And they go to locations doing that stuff and then leaving the repercussions for anyone else who comes in.
Yep. Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I mean, I'm sorry. And I know this is probably a controversial one too, but like for the Warrens Museum or John Zaffis and his Haunted Collector, you know, at least when they put things up and they contain things, they do it with a quote unquote ritual of, you know, trying to contain this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
The Haunted Museum in Las Vegas does not. They just put stuff in there. I mean, you have what is supposedly the main Dybbuk box that everybody's so absolutely scared of, and you have the Devil's Chair that Lorraine Warren sat in, and you have the minibus that Jack Kevorkian was, you know, offing people in.
Right.
Helping people off themselves in. And you don't have any sort of protection. You don't have any sort of containment. You don't have any sort of anything there that is going to help a person after they have gone in to look at this thing with any type of repercussions that may happen afterwards, you know?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And it's so which full circles back to what good is burning a place down or destroying it when what's attached there and what's in there is basically going to be attached to the land that's still there.
Right.
You know, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if it's that would be like burning a Ouija board.
Yeah. And you know what happens from that? It just comes back anyway.
It doesn't matter if you burn the Ouija board, because whatever is attached to the Ouija board or whatever, it is not going to just stay in that piece of cardboard.
Mm-hmm.
And after you have burned it, after you have destroyed it, there's nothing saying that it won't come back 12 times worse.
Right. Sorry if you hear that noise in the background. That's my kid.
My dogs are barking, so.
All right, so let's move on to question number 5. And I think this is a good stopping point right here, because question number 6, I don't really want to get into. So do all spirits have the choice to move on? Or do they are given a certain, well, you're here for a reason, then we're not going to give you the choice to move on. So, Cynthia, do you want to start out with this one?
I think they all should have the choice to move on or not. I mean, and truthfully, for me, I think that any energies that decide to stay in a place have that choice to stay there or go. I don't think there's anything that's technically keeping them stuck in a place, unless by their choice, like Ashley had said before, they have a message they want to get to somebody, or like I said before, unless somebody is keeping them there by, not letting them go, not providing that out for them.
Right.
But I think every spirit should have a choice. I think every spirit does have a choice to move on or not. It's just with some of those choices are stalemated by extenuating circumstances. That's what I was trying to say.
Ashley, what do you got? What are your thoughts?
I would like to think that, because the people who actually are dying, and if they did see the light, they're dead, they can't tell us they saw the light. But I'd like to think that when everyone has that experience of almost dying, even they see that light, I think that is everyone's chance to move on. I think that light always wants us to go through it, because that's our chance to let go of this energy being and become something different or more pure or more at peace. I think that's what that light is that we all see, because like I've just said before, I think I even talked about it with Shay. We actually did it on Shay's show. We talked with another guy who actually wrote a book on near-death experiences. And he described the same exact thing that I've described before, that it wasn't like an actual light. Like, it wasn't an electrical source of light. It felt more like you were in the sun. You felt the warmth from this light. It felt like it was encompassing you. It was more than just, and the way how bright it was. It wasn't bright like a light. That's the only way I can describe it. It was bright like there was an energy source that it was coming from, that was emitting more than just light, but heat and an actual presence, if you will. I think that's all of our chances to move on. And when we don't, when we hesitate to go through it, that's when we get stuck here, because our energy didn't get filtered out. So that energy is still stuck on this plane with us as human beings. And I think that's why a lot of people who've had near-death experiences, people who weren't necessarily born with psychic or medium abilities like I was, end up developing them after they've had near-death experiences, because they've been on both planes. We've been both places, and so we can see both sides.
Right.
Any type of traumatic experience,
Yes.
Awesome viewpoints tonight, guys. I really enjoyed this episode, even though I made someone really upset, but she got over it pretty good.
Who did you make upset?
I was gonna say I don't think you torqued anybody off. Real
Yeah.
quickly,
We do a few minutes left, so if everyone wants to shout
real
out.
quickly. Shay says her last one is, on a side note, thank you to everyone for the love and well wishes. Big shout out to Matt for running the shows for me the past couple of weeks. Love y'all.
We love you, Shay.
Love you too, Shay. Oh.
I got to plug a few things because I'm super freaking excited about this. So on April 22nd and 23rd, the 22nd is the VIP dinner. So you can buy tickets and we all eat together and all that stuff for Tyler Paracon. But this year it's going to be the Tyler Mineola Paracon. So we're actually doing the ghost hunts and everything at the end of the night inside of the historic Select Theater in downtown Mineola, which is over 100 years old. Basically, all of the locations we'll be doing are in downtown Mineola, but they're all over 100 years old, like funeral homes, theater annexes, like all that good, creepy stuff. And we'll have so many awesome speakers there this year. Not me, because I'm not awesome. I mean, I'm speaking, but I'm not awesome. We have ufologists, we have Reiki masters and spiritual workers and all that cool stuff coming. We have cryptozoologists. And then May 6th and 7th or 7th and 8th. I think I always get that wrong. May 6th and 7th. It's Kilgore Geekend. And this one I'm super excited for because it's like a mixture of Comic-Con, an Anime Con, and a Paranormal Conference all mixed into one thing. So they're going to be voiceover actors and manga artists and comic book artists. And then myself, I don't know why they asked me, of all people, honestly. I mean, I'm super honored, but why me?
That's cool, though. That's cool.
But I'll be actually leading the ghost hunting, the paranormal investigation panel, the paranormal panel, and leading the ghost hunts at night. And we're going to be doing Kilgore's Richest Acre, which is actually just 1 square acre that was the most profitable drill spot in all of the U.S. They made the most money off of oil in just that 1 square acre. And all the rigs are still up and everything, so we actually get to go around in that acre and investigating there. Lots of people died working in the field. And then we're doing the Kilgore Train Depot, which is down right next to it. And it was actually used in World War II as a huge hub for soldiers, for wounded soldiers, for weaponry, tanks, all that stuff went through that depot area. Same thing for Mineola. There's a train depot right at the end of the street that's pretty haunted too. So it's going to be so much fun. They have a Naruto run. You get to do Alice in Wonderland tea party. They have a D&D campaign session going on the side. They have a lady who actually paints handmade Pokemon cards for you, makes your own specialized Pokemon cards. It's going to be so much fun. I'm so excited.
That sounds like fun.
Cynthia, what do you got planned coming up?
Well, I know that coming up end of April, beginning of May, we have a couple of investigations at Edinburgh. In July, we have Cedar Rapids Expo with Kelly McCarville and Pat Kraft. And in October, of course, we will be doing the Bangor Haunted Crib. Round 3.
Anniversary.
Yeah, I want to get people up here for that. So, and then in July, we're hoping to get down to somebody for an investigation in Oklahoma.
What? Shut up. Are you talking about me? Fuck you. Come on. Are you serious? Don't play with my emotions like that.
That'd be cool. That'd be cool.
Shut up. Yeah. My face is getting all hot and stuff. I'm so excited. Are you serious?
I am serious.
We are cry. I need to see
Yes.
Oh.
We're trying to get down to Broken Bow to actually do an investigation. June 18th, 19th, and 20th, we will be at the Cambry House for their summer solstice thing, which is Rebecca Williamson's haunted location. September 9th, we will be doing the Hinsdale House, which I am totally stoked for. Cannot wait. I'm really hoping we get down to Broken Bow, because after watching Ashley's lives this weekend, that place looks phenomenal.
You have to come. You're making me cry. You can't make me cry and not come.
We're working on it, my dear. We are working on it. So we've got a lot scheduled, and we're trying to schedule more. So,
all right, sounds good. And you guys,
I'm sorry, I forgot to actually plug the asylum. Like, I completely fucking forgot I own a location.
Go ahead.
So I only have 2 dates left this year, like 2 weekends left. You guys are welcome to book weekday dates. It's perfectly fine. Those are pretty wide open, except for in August. August, I have a lot of weekday investigations because everyone got like time off or whatever. But it's just the weekends in August are actually the only ones I have open, which is weird. The weekdays are booked, but the weekends are open. It's August 19th and 20th, and then 26th to 27th are the only ones I have open for the rest of the year.
Awesome.
Yeah, so you guys can look on the Facebook site, and the email address to contact for booking is right on there if you want to grab those spots.
All righty.
That's
And you can catch me on Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays at 2 in the afternoon with the Paranormal Question Day on Paranormal Brew, and my Facebook page, and the MGS Paranormal YouTube channel as well. I have a hotel event coming up soon, beginning in May. And then after that one, that's just the starter for my season. And following that week, I'll be at Edinburgh, May 13th and 14th with Cynthia there. And after that, I gotta start scheduling more stuff. But I don't have a whole lot of play here because my child is getting ready to go to college, so everything rest of the season hangs in the balance as to where she ends up going. So with that, anybody else with last regards?
Come on, Matt.
I love
Say hi
you
to everybody,
guys.
Matt. You know you want to, Matt.
He's waving. Is that a high or bye wave? That looked like a high wave, but I think you're saying bye.
Well, all right, everybody, I bid you adieu. And Ashley, lead us out tonight.
Cookie Monster say, stay safe.
And Elmo says, have a great motherfucking week.
Good night, everybody. Have a good week.